This is The Breakdown. What? Hey, everybody.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff Messer. We're doing another Issues With Breakdown, and this time, or I should say, and now for something completely different. I only make that joke because my friend and the person we're interviewing today is British, and is quite a phenomenal, and I will say this to embarrass her, a phenomenal performer who I enjoy seeing on stage. Anytime I see that this person is in a show on stage, I know it's going to be worth my time to go see it. And God, it's been forever since I've gotten to work with her in that sort of capacity. But maybe we can remedy that after this whole plague crisis, whatever you call it, is over. I'm certainly thrilled because she is now becoming extremely famous on film and television.
No.
Her career is really taking off. My good friend Kay Gavin is here with me, star of many a stage play, and also recently has played, among other things, Margaret Thatcher in a TV version of, I think it's Bill O'Reilly's book, Killing Reagan, right? Was that?
That's right. Yeah. That was great. I had such a lot of fun. They were so nice.
And you got to play Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, and the whole scene was cut.
The whole thing was cut, so.
Whole scene. It was on National Geographic, I think. I don't know. And it ran too long.
Oh.
For the TV slot. And so the whole scene where it's Reagan's 82nd or 83rd birthday, and it was this fantastic set. It was like a tented, and people in evening clothes, and then at the top table was Mr. and Mrs. Reagan and their children and me and my husband, but that whole scene had to be
wow.
cut, but they still credited it for me.
Oh, very nice, very nice. So nobody could see you living in infamy as Margaret Thatcher.
I know. I really loved playing her as well.
I bet that was a lot of fun. But I have a feeling that your next adventure is something that a lot of people are going to see. And it particularly interests me and all of our fans who follow this show, who are big fans of comic books and science fiction and all of those things. Somehow you got yourself cast in the upcoming DC Universe app and CW Network show, Stargirl.
Stargirl, new series coming spring 2020.
Which is mid-May 2020. While everybody's cloistered at home, they will surely, that'll bounce the ratings up, I'm betting. Tell us, how in the world did you get the part, and did you go in as a fan of comic books? Did you have any clue about what you were doing, or were you just an actor who was auditioning for a role?
Oh, I'm not a clue, Jeff. I'm not too familiar with the comic book genre,
Right.
Yeah, I was submitted for the audition, and they wanted to see me do an audition, and I was just quite amazed, and just so excited, because it was a recurring role.
Yes.
And I never had that before, so I was very excited and overjoyed. It's a small supporting role, but it was very exciting for me. Very exciting.
And how was your first wardrobe fitting for the spandex and the cape and all of that stuff? No, I'm kidding. You're not playing a superhero, right?
No. I am the mother of one of the main villains, Icicle.
Okay.
Who was played by the wonderful Neil Jackson. It's absolutely fabulous actor. And so, yes, I'm Norwegian. So,
okay.
um, a number of my lines were in Norwegian.
Really?
And that was rather stressful to memorize lines in Norwegian and deliver them, convincingly. And
Hmm.
when I wasn't speaking Norwegian, then there were some English lines, and I just had to do them with a Norwegian accent.
Ah.
Yeah, they had this whole Norwegian vibe going on. And as regards costumes, we were shooting in Atlanta in July and August, and they had me in winter clothes. It was a
Oh
night.
gosh. So dressed in parkas in Atlanta in July. That's not a good idea.
Well, lots of sweaters and
Mm.
things for this Norwegian vibe, I guess.
And so the show, this film last year, of course, season 1 coming out just now. And how many episodes did you wind up doing?
I did 5,
Okay.
but the first one, me and the guy who plays my husband, was edited out.
Hmm.
I don't think either of us spoke. I'm not sure if I can remember. I think it was episode 2, but we were notified by our agents that scene was, the casting director let us know it was cut. So, hopefully I'm in the other 4, but who
Yes.
knows? It's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully they keep your Norwegian dialogue in the show. Just to let people know a little bit more about this too, there's a great cast in this show. Amy Smart, Luke Wilson, Joel McHale, Henry Thomas.
So amazing.
To name a few names that folks will recognize.
Yeah, Luke Wilson was so kind to me. He was just very, of all of them, he was, well, Neil Jackson was great at playing my son. But I remember Luke Wilson, after a rather challenging scene, thanking me. He was so nice,
I was Starman's sidekick.
It meant a lot.
Yeah. Now, did you when you got cast in this role, how much time did you have between getting cast and actually having to go and start filming? Did you have enough time to go to a comic book shop and buy some research material, or how did you prepare to enter this weird, wacky universe?
No, I didn't do that. I was so kind of obsessed about this Norwegian that my focus was on that primarily. So no, I didn't. Oops. I should have, I guess.
That's all right. That's all right. An actor acts, right? But you got to know a little bit more about it, obviously, as things went along. Give us, because as someone who is not necessarily a comic book person like yourself, being immersed in this sort of world, you kind of get to learn on the job, I suppose. What did you learn about this, or the characters and the story, and some of the interesting aspects of it, and what were some of your impressions once you kind of got immersed into that world?
I wish that I had had more opportunity to see the special effects, those particular scenes, but some of them were shot there were different locations. I saw some of the actors in makeup. The special effects makeup was extraordinary. I don't know. It was I as I say, Jeff. I wasn't quite sure what I could tell you about this. I wish I had been able to see more, but we were. I wasn't. I don't know that they wanted to. There were always so many people on the set.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't want the other actors lingering around in the background and so
forth. I
forth.
went once when we were having to wait so very long, me and the guy playing my husband, and I kind of caught a glimpse. I don't know which villain it was, but it looked really amazing. I don't know how they do these things. I guess a lot of it is computer stuff.
Sure.
Special effects.
Yeah. And a lot of it. It's amazing what they can do now as far as the post production goes.
Yeah.
Adding so many things. Of course, you you're playing the mother of one of the villains. Did you get any time with the lead of the show? Her name is Breck Bassinger, I think. Yeah.
I had I had a couple of scenes. There was one scene where myself and the guy playing my husband and Icicle Neil Jackson, who played our son, were having dinner at her home.
Hmm.
I don't quite. Because my grandson, Icicle's son, was friends with her.
Ah, okay.
So we all got to sit down, with Amy Smart and Luke Wilson, and the guy playing the little boy playing this at this scene. And yeah, I remember that Breck was sitting across from me, and I made some comment to my husband about her in Norwegian because I did not like her. Of course, I'm not the usual sweet grandmother.
Right.
We
Right.
know we knew what my son was doing, and we assisted him on at least one occasion disposing of a body. But maybe I shouldn't tell you that.
Oh, spoiler alerts. Yeah, so the villainy doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were not. We knew what was happening, and we were totally on board with our son.
Now, I know a little bit about some of these characters, and the way the show is set up. It's and Breck is very young. I think she's about 20 years old,
Very
playing
young.
a high schooler. So this is sort of a teenage high school drama, and the CW network does those shows really, really well.
Okay.
They're kind of like soap operas for teenage boys with superheroes and spandex. It's kind of a perfect storm. But part of the Stargirl connection is to a previous generation of superheroes called the Justice Society of America, who were around 50 or so years ago, and they're like legacy and so forth and so on. What I'm feeling here that may happen, I'm going to predict perhaps by season 2 or so, we may learn that you and your Norwegian husband might have been villains once upon a time.
Well, we're not exactly cuddly grandparents or parents, but God, I was going to say something. That's what happens when you get old. Yeah, Icicle, our son, Jordan Markand, is involved with what they call the Injustice Society.
Right, yes. It's very on the nose. They're right up front about how they operate.
So, we're hoping that there will be a season 2, but that's an unknown. And
Sure.
Greg, who is it? Jeff Johns, who created.
Yes. This character is a creation of his, based on his sister, I believe.
His sister, who was killed. There seemed to be some expectation at the end of the shoot, and we were in like maybe a couple of the final ones, that there would be a season 2, and I think that will be very exciting because we heard, I'm not going to say anything, a little bit about what might happen.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just a little bit, as it actually pertains to us, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. So it's I'm quite excited. Comic book, it's not something I would have logged on for.
Right.
But because of the people that I've met and the experience that I had in Atlanta, I'm quite excited to see it. I think it will be very good. I hope that people enjoy it.
Well, they've got a pretty good track record right now. I think the CW has 5 or 6 different shows that have been on multiple seasons. They're really building this elaborate universe with these characters. I think most of the shows that they put on, I don't think anything has only lasted a season. So with some luck, and of course the current situation that people are dealing with the coronavirus, and a lot of productions are put on hold.
I know. I had no auditions. Yeah.
No auditions. That's right. So you've seen the negative impact. There's nothing happening production wise. So let's hope that maybe even if it's delayed a little bit, that season 2 does happen. So we can get Kay back to work.
Yeah, it's that whole industry has been so severely affected.
Yes, yeah. But I think it's important too, though, things that have already been filmed and have had their post-production work done are coming out now, just like this show.
Yeah,
It's going to help people get through the difficult times
that's
that people are
right.
going through now,
Yeah,
and especially something that's as positive and happy as this show seems to be. Like you were saying, Jeff Johns, who has been a writer and a creative genius at DC Comics now for the past 15, 20 years. He's one of the main guys running that company at this point.
that's
Uh,
right.
Made his break as a writer, and to be honoring his sister who passed away by creating this character and tying her to a long legacy of characters.
Wonderful.
There's something really sentimental and sweet and sincere about it. And I think the fans respond well to that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. So even though you're playing a villain, sort of in the show, uh, sort of a villain, how do you think, or how do you hope people respond to your character when they see it?
Well, I think they might initially, I don't know. They'll, I have no idea really. I mean, I hope they'll be intrigued and perhaps a little like, wait, what? Wait a minute. She's, they're sweet grandparents and parents, but I mean, the big, yeah.
Mm.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see what it looks like because we just
Right.
get little pieces, you
Sure,
know.
yeah. And is it more fun to play? And I already know this answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is it more fun to play a character that kind of has a dirty, villainous streak in them?
Yes, I frequently get auditions for grandma who's sweet and
Sure, sure.
and soft and so yeah, I kind of liked this Northern European grandmother who is not quite what she appears on the surface, you know.
Right, right.
So
And
yeah, that was great.
and now you're getting more accustomed to the Norwegian language than maybe you'd ever expected to before.
Uh, yeah,
But
somewhat. Yeah.
any favorite words in Norwegian that you've learned, or any favorite curse words in Norwegian? Because isn't that what everybody does first, is learn what the dirty words are?
Do you know, I wish that I had thought about this before coming on your show, Jeff. The only one I can come up with is tuck, which is cute. I think that's pretty general throughout Scandinavia. So
All right. Well, for the next time, learn some dirty words and
okay,
add that to your repertoire. Um,
absolutely.
for sure. Now, of course, the show. How many episodes are they doing the first season? I think it's a shorter season.
I think there were 12.
12. Okay.
There were
Okay.
11 or 12.
Okay. So it's kind of that half season order for the first season. Of course, everything now it's going on to the DC Universe app, which I have. So I'm very excited to see it on there. And of course, also the CW network is going to carry this.
Yeah.
Kay, once a year, the CW network shows do this giant multi-show crossover event, some large story that each show has an episode in sequence to tell a bigger story, and all the characters cross over with the other shows. In fact, that's where they introduced Stargirl and that universe. They kind of hinted at it this past year around Christmas time when they did their setup show. So at some point, you may be dragged into one of those giant 5-part crossover episodes and show up in something else too. Yeah,
That was great. Yeah, I'm game.
you're absolutely all right. Well, and if this thing really catches on, let me tell you, you're in for quite a surprise in your life, because you can get a whole new life now going to comic book conventions and appearing at tables and signing autographs. The fans love this stuff. I go to them all the time. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's something about that environment that's a ton of fun. So I hope you get to the point where you get to show up for autograph signings, in these giant convention centers with actors and all kinds of other
That
people.
would be fantastic. A whole new thing
Oh,
opening up. Amazing. Yeah.
that a lot of the actors who played roles in the TV show The Walking Dead and
Yeah.
a lot of these other folks, that's what they do now. They film, and then the rest of the year they go take weekend vacations and go to Comic-Cons.
How fun.
Yeah, so
I know that. Thank you for telling me.
well, I'm just trying to prepare you for when the time comes, because it could be happening, especially if we learn something more villainous about you. I can't wait to see the bad guy costume.
Yeah.
You sent me a picture of you in your wardrobe outside of your trailer.
I know. I look really
that will-
sweet in my shawl and things. See, I'm such a sweet grandma.
I know, it's so deceptive, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Well, Kay, appreciate you taking time to chat with us.
Thanks for asking me, Jeff.
Oh, and I thought about you because I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I know Kay. I'm a huge fan of Kay's work, and to see that you were going to be entering the world of geekdom, I thought, oh my God, here's something that Kay and I can now bond over.
That's fun. That's fun. Well, we'll talk again after it opens and exchange views or something. Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to be watching as each episode rolls out. So as soon as I see you, it's going to put a smile on my face. I guarantee it. And other folks can watch for you as well. You said the first episode they trimmed out the scene that you guys were in, but
they did. It was episode 2. We were trimmed out, but then we're in 3, and then we're in 9, 10, and 12. So
okay.
I don't know what that will look like, but
sure. Well, we're
fun. It's all
Well, you're living the life. You're having a great time and lots of success. Let's hope that there's more of that, and let's hear it for Icicle's grandmother, Kay Galvin. Thanks so much. I'm so glad that we could do this, and I can't wait to see the episodes.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. There goes Kay Galvin, Icicle's grandmother, right here on the show. This has been another episode of The Breakdown with Issues With. I'm Jeff Messer, and we'll see you guys next time.